You go, Robin.
Okay, welcome everybody to the February 21st Community Engagement Commission meeting. And I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call. Commissioners Summer here. Arlene Fisher
Here.
Cynthia Gamboni here. Bill Norman
Here.
Mark Sava.
Here.
And I'd like to ask that somebody make a motion and excuse Aaron Hassan.
I make a motion that we excuse Aaron from tonight's meeting.
Okay. All in favor?
Who seconded?
Aye.
Cynthia.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, approvals of the agenda. Any modifications to the agenda for tonight?
I would like to make one modification to the agenda if I may.
Okay,
Item 7A,
yes,
I think we should move that down to, item E. Because it's what we're gonna be covering, it's gonna be pretty much our meeting tonight. I think
Okay.
we ought to cover the B, C, and D, and E, and then we'll get into the, workshop for the, city council. No one objects.
okay, do I hear a motion?
It's moving where? After D?
Yeah, it's moving after E, between E and F.
That's where I moved it. I moved it after E.
Yeah,
So everything sort of shifts up.
yeah.
B becomes A, C becomes B, etc.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The minutes of January 17th. No modifications, I'll ask for a motion for approval.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of January 17th as written.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to introduce our newest member, Arlene Fisher Maurer. And I want to note that there was a wonderful article. It was
Yeah, it
so
was. That
nice
was
and
awesome.
splash. It was great. Yeah, there it is.
I'm very humbled. It was a lot of fun, and my sister-in-law, you know, who I've known for 20, 30 years, she called Rosalie, she called me, she said, I learned things about you I never knew, and I said, what? So I had a couple of other family members call and say, you know, so it was very humbling, and it was very gracious, and I'm kind of really proud of the city, and I'm glad my husband and I chose to move home.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're back.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are.
She got 3 pages plus the cover. And we found out she's also a pioneer.
Oh, yeah.
A trailblazer.
So,
If you
did you know the Ingalls family?
No, but, what I can say is, and Winnie Van Orman, she was with me, she was there, and she knows this, but many meetings in the initial incorporation went past midnight. And we finally got smart, and we set a deadline for 9:30, because staff, myself, had to get right back up and show up here at 7:30 the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it was, I was younger then, I was in my early 40s. I couldn't do that again, no. No, I just don't have that stamina anymore, but it's, I love this city very, very much, so. I'm proud.
Well, welcome to the community engagement.
Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, are there any public comments in the audience or online?
Seeing no requests.
Okay. Yeah, city hall updates, everybody got the handout? Huh? Okay, I didn't see, it sounded pretty accurate to me and probably.
Mark, would you, like to give us an update like you did last night on the strategic planning that you gave to, the city council last night? Please.
Sure. The strategic plan specifically, or you asking about the survey?
The surveys like you did at the meeting last night.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So we've talked about this, at the commission meeting before, and we've been meeting with, the committee that the commission formed, to go through kind of planning for this community, survey. And so where we are now is, we have, selected the sample, and we have done a couple of things. We've sent out an initial invitation, letter explaining what was happening, why it was happening, what we expected the recipient to do. And then about a week later, we mailed the survey out to that same group of folks with, instructions on how to complete it. And that was done on January 22nd and January 29th respectively. And so it's been now about a month since that, survey distribution, was made. And so we've gotten thus far about 20% response. That's far below what we would like to see. I don't know if it's all that unexpected, but it's far below what we would like to see. And so we're at the place now where, we are, and we all had always planned to do this, but we are at the place where we're going to send out a reminder, to those folks now that have not responded, just saying, hey, it's been about a month. We'd like to hear from you. Your voice is important, kind of thing. And see what that gets us in terms of yield. And so, that reminder is going out on Monday, the 26th. Between Monday, the 26th and March 20th, which is this, commission's next meeting, we're gonna see what we get. And then our plan is to come back on March 20th and discuss, based on what we get at that point, where we sit with the response, what we want to do. Do we want to invest more time and energy going after more response? Or do we want to say, this is our initial attempt at this, we've learned some lessons, we can incorporate those lessons into the next iteration, and we're gonna cut it here. That, I'm not prepared to say one or the other here, but that's what we plan to do on March 20th, and have this, commission kind of weigh in on what it believes is the best course of action based on the response we have at that time. And so that's essentially where we are. And like I said, that gives us about 3.5 weeks or so between now and March 20th to figure out how many more responses we get.
Question, when that reminder goes out, and if people are like, oh, I threw that away.
Yes.
Yeah, it's being mentioned that maybe they can do it online or.
Yeah, so at this point, we're encouraging people to get online and take it. We assume that either they didn't see the survey initially, they tossed it. Even if they have it, they can still mail it in, but the reminder is encouraging people to go online and take it online, so, yeah.
And I was one of the guinea pigs that did it, and, it's fairly easy to go through.
I did it too. I thought it worked smoothly.
Yeah, it worked out really smooth.
There were no glitches.
Mhm.
Well,
There was one.
Mark
I found
was the
one.
first one who went through, and it's a good thing we did the test run, because Mark found a glitch before you did it, Bill. And that's why we did it, and thank goodness Mark found that.
Gosh, it would be really interesting if the reminder gets like a more than 20% reply. And then in the future,
Be
like,
nice.
maybe it should just not into the paper.
Right, so those are all, I would classify all of those things as, lessons learned, or potential lessons learned. And then we can use all of those, to evaluate how we want to approach this next year. Because remember, this is designed to be a year over year process, so this is our first one.
And you know, we're still learning, we're still growing, you know, we're still in our infancy, so, you know, this will be a good, lesson for us to, evaluate and, you know, learn from it, so.
So do you find that, are people mailing them in, or are they doing them online, or just, doesn't sound like they're doing either or right now?
Well, so of the 120, whatever that number is, responses, 90 of them have been mailed in-ish, I would guess.
Oh, that's a,
Do you want more, do you want the accurate number?
I mean,
We're okay to say that, or?
I'd like. to know the
It's
actual
below 90.
below 90.
Well,
Above
no, I take that back. Yeah, you're right. Mailed in, yes.
I was gonna say, the vast majority have been mailed in, of the
Okay.
ones that we've received responses for thus far. And by far, the minority have been done online, but, you know, based on the fact that, and I'll say that, and if you heard the update last night, the issue with the response really deals with your confidence level in using the data to make decisions, right? The data is valid. Or I should say, the responses that we have are valid. They're actual responses, and we can draw some conclusions based on those responses. The challenge becomes if we don't get another response and we have what we have, you're sitting in a place where you can really only say with about 50, it's a 50-50 proposition, right? Whether if I go out and randomly pick somebody off the street, if their answers represent something that is represented in the data. And that really isn't a great way to use data to make decisions. That's why we want more responses, because the more we get, the narrower that becomes, the more confident we can say, I can randomly replicate this out in the population. And so that's why we want more response, but the data is valid, they're valid answers, so we're gonna use it regardless. We just would like to have more response, so we can draw more confidence.
So a question that occurs to me, does the validity, say we want to continue to wring responses out of people one way or another, short of threats. But mailing to an additional audience or remailing to the existing one, do those repeated attempts to get to what we think is a credible number, does that impact the legitimacy of the responses?
Not really, the only thing really that would, impact the legitimacy is if you had, like you're describing, maybe, a coerced response, which we don't wanna do. On the flip side, we don't wanna entice a response by like offering a gift card or something. And so, but there's also kind of the law of diminishing returns, right? And the postcard approach, which was always planned, so it's not, we're not doing something other than what we've already planned to do, is low cost enough that if we get a great response to the postcard, that's a good return on investment. We're gonna have to talk about on the 20th, based on what level of response we have at that point, if we want to continue to make any other investments, whether they're monetary or time, because we do have, the list that we bought of the household, addresses came with, we went ahead and bought the email field.
Okay.
And so we have email addresses, but not everyone supplied an email address. So we probably only have email addresses for about 60% of that, list. And so we can talk about when we get back, on the 20th, if we want to try some email, campaigns, because it was fairly, low cost. It's just a time and effort component. So there are those kinds of things.
I don't know, that sounds not. I think just getting those in and getting that in, I think is, for the first time around, is a positive. Steps in the right direction, and that people actually mailed them out and mailed them back and took that time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, 20% is nothing to sneeze at.
Right. We would like more, but still,
Yeah, I mean, again, you really need to start getting into the 400 range before you can say confidently, I can use that with absolute confidence to make a conclusion based on the data. But whether we get to that number or not, we're going to use the data that we have, because that's what we have. And so, the other side of it is that regardless of the final response, we'll use all of the methodology, what we learned from going through the process to apply next time and hopefully improve the response rate.
Mark, what was the purpose of just picking 660 residents?
Great question. So as you, if you look at, statistical data sampling, you have a population. In this case, we chose to survey households, not individuals. And so the population is the number of households, which is approximately 4,900. And so in order to get a 95% confidence interval at a 3.5% plus or minus error rate, in order to get a sample size that approximates the population, if you randomly pick one out of there, you need 660 samples. And that's based on the confidence level and the margin of error. If you tweak those things, it goes up or down. But it's a mathematical calculation based on your population, your sample size, your level, your confidence interval, and your margin of error.
I don't know if it's the time to ask this now, but if you knew that you're only gonna get like 20% back, but you really want a higher number, would it make sense to shoot for higher next time, like say 1,000 instead of 650?
So
How did that?
there's always, you can obviously, make those decisions. I guess I would caution going outside of the standard sample size, just because the sample size is the sample size because it's a mathematical formula. And so the sample size is less important than the response that you get. Because if you end up getting 660 responses, you're in fantastic shape, right? But you usually don't get 100% response rate. And so, we were hoping obviously to get more than 20%. And I think the reminder will yield more than 20%, but
Sure.
That's the concept that I'm struggling to grasp is why not just mail out to everybody and see what you get?
look,
Minus some money.
there's a cost component.
We just
Yeah.
blew our budget.
Yeah, there's a serious cost component.
Yes.
Because you're, essentially sampling
1,040.
13%, so there's a factor of 8 increase on the cost, right? So instead of a $3,000 campaign, you're looking at a $24,000 campaign, and that blows your budget.
You're done.
Yeah.
Go home.
And potentially this is a long game with, as the years go on, different people would be in that sample and, it's not just a one shot necessarily. I mean, if we decide to sort of squelch it because there's not enough people, I feel like we're gonna do something again with that group of people or something in that vein. So I think it's a long game.
It's definitely a long game, yeah.
Well, people will get used to hearing this and maybe in the future we'll either get more responses or I would be worried less because people are like, what's that thing again?
No, I think more. I think we're in a land of trust. I mean, right now, it's hard to trust anybody. I think we have to build that trust and we have to make it known that it's coming from the city and this is a real thing, and then see some results from it. And as people see results and see that it matters in some way, hopefully that increases participation.
And that's the key right there, regardless of what our ultimate response rate is. Using the information to make the best decision we can based on the response that we get. Hopefully, because you're right, it all boils down to building trust. And the more trust individuals have generally, the more response you're going to get over time. And then the more response you get, the better decision you can make. And it's a circular trust building, decision making cycle. So.
You can see general trends with like the number you have in now, but it's just more affirmed if you have a lot more of the population agreeing with the trend,
That makes sense. Thank you. Anything else? Let's move on to number 7, discussions in business. Going on to proposal on geographic location for CEC Node Mark. Material. And else. Other footnotes.
My binding's full.
I have space for, I have space
I
for,
saw it.
waiting for something just like this.
Wait, no, everyone gets a copy of it.
I don't have fingerprints apparently.
Okay, as we all know, we've been in existence for a little over a year. And to date, we have never fulfilled a complete full commission. And I think the reason, one of the reasons is how we have the geographics laid out as it is today. If it wasn't for a mistake that we had with Aaron being in a different area, Arlene would have never been able to join with us because she lived in a different area. And so the front here is the first page is a copy of the original ordinance, okay? What I'm suggesting, and as you can see, let's review it real quick, and I'm just looking at number 3 here. North of I-90, we have 2 members, position 1 and 6. South of I-90, west of Liberty Lake Road, we have 2 members, positions 2 and 7. South of I-90, east of Liberty Lake, north of Mission, known as the ghetto, we have 2 members, 3 and 6. South of I-90 east and east of Liberty Lake Road and south of Mission, we have 2 members, and that's positions 4 and 9. And then we have 1 member of at large, okay? And that's position 5. Flip the page, and what I did, and I know this has to go to council, if we agree on this, and we have to take it to council for their approval. What I'm suggesting is that the mayor may recommend appointment of members based on the following areas. North of I-90 will have 1 member in position.
Thank goodness.
It went off for a moment.
That's okay. We'll have 1 member in position 4. Positions 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 would be at large, okay? As you can see, the current positions are noted onto the left-hand side here. On the right-hand side would be the revised positions. Robin would stay in position 1, Bill would stay in position 2. Position 3 right now is vacant, but Aaron would become our member in position 3. Summer would be position 4. Cynthia would be position 5. Arlene would be position 6. Because in order for us to make a decision, we've always had to make sure that there was an opening within our commission. Well, we have 2 openings right now if we go like this, and we can bring in 2 more people so we can have a full commission.
I think it's great.
And you still have, it still guarantees that the neighborhoods has.
Absolutely.
Broadly defined.
Yep.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a voice for every neighborhood,
Yeah.
every area.
And no one's left out if they want to join.
That's right,
Couldn't be better.
that's right.
Good.
Can we take this to council at the next meeting, Mark? The 5th? Seeing that we're gonna be there for the workshop, maybe we can present. I don't know.
So, I would suggest, if I would suggest mentioning it during the workshop.
Okay.
If we want to make it an action item later on the agenda, they will have already heard it
Okay.
and then we can ask some follow-up questions during the action item. But I
So
would-
should we put this on as an action item on the 5th, or should we bring it up to them during the workshop and then maybe have it an action item the following
I
meeting?
would suggest the former,
Okay.
so as to give them the opportunity to ask questions, and then based on the answer, based on the dialogue, you may want to consider tweaking something.
Okay.
And then you can bring back a decision or an action.
That
Yeah.
being said,
Are you saying for a later meeting?
Yeah,
do we foresee any opposition or any specific issues that anyone would come up with, even though?
I don't think so.
I don't think
I wouldn't
so.
think so.
I think
Yeah.
it's a good. I think this is very good.
I was just curious if we were gonna be blindsided by something we didn't think of, but to me, I mean, it sounds really helpful to us.
I think that you'll get questions, but I don't think any of the questions will be, like trap questions. They'll
I
just be-
didn't mean like that, unless it was like, well, the order, by the way, changing an ordinance and this, whatever. Yeah, great.
Okay.
Thanks, thank
You're
you,
welcome.
good job.
I want to be clear from my notes. Mark, did you say this would be something they could bring up during the workshop?
So I'm saying if this is the direction that the commission wants to go, I would make sure that you are prepared to discuss it at the workshop,
Yes,
so that you can get feedback. Based on the feedback, it may be that the universal position is, oh, this is great, yeah, bring it to us. And then you have nothing to change, but, you know, you bring it back as an action item. But my guess is that there's going to be dialogue, because there usually is, and there may be some tweaks that you want to consider based on the dialogue. And then you're not in a position where you have something on the agenda that automatically already needs to be changed, right? And so, then it just gives you a chance to bring back the action item that they want to adopt.
okay. What I will do, I will bring this and make copies so they,
Sure.
we'll give it to the, and then we'll discuss it. during the-
Make sure you put it in the binder.
It'll be there.
I know it'll be that, blue binder.
The binder.
Okay,
I like that.
It's under Bill's coat.
Yes.
yeah, show off the binder.
Oh, let's see the
Yeah, it is
It's
the
not that
binder.
exciting, I did it at 5:44, at 5:44 PM.
Really exciting.
Isn't it?
You
So
can see the
exciting.
binder.
So exciting.
Good job.
Thank you, 5:45 PM.
That is so
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Very good, Vanna.
Next thing we'll do is we need to, we'll start putting in the components of. what
Like things that we might wanna have, materials at our workshop, for example.
Yeah, it'll work.
And it was-
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
That's enough.
okay, thanks, Mark, for that.
It's no easel.
For applications, next, how about the calendar of spring activities, David?
I sent out a listing of the events that I know about. This is basically, it was a blatant copy and paste of what's on our website, and I've been updating the dates as I find out about them, and thank goodness for Mark Saba, who's been providing me a lot of dates that I've not been able to, track down on my own. At the end of that list, and this is not in chronological order on this part, but at the end, I also have some, what I feel to be some, interesting, activities coming up at the library with this Master Gardener series. And then, we've also just recently, within the last 2 days, got dates for some spring, sports activities on some of the city parks. So basically, I'm looking for you for your knowledge, for your focus group insight. To let me know, am I missing anything? Are there some details that should be there that aren't? Are there dates that you know about that I haven't been able to put down yet? Are there activities I've overlooked? And I may possibly, I guess I should backtrack. Rather than doing a spring poster this year and a summer one after that like I did last year, as I said before, I just thought the text was too cramped, too short, too little. Didn't pop out visually. I wanted both those posters to be more fun than they ended up being last year. That's, you know, all on me as the designer. It was just difficult to design well with the amount of content we had there. So right now I'm looking at doing a March and April one. Granted, there's not a lot of happening in March, but that gives you more room to be visually interesting with what will likely be a lot of spring flower design you'll see on there. Designed around some of the text. And then I do a May, June, and then July, August, and then just after Labor Day, you know, I still want to hit things like the Spokane Symphony concert, I almost said Yakima Symphony, Spokane Symphony concert,
I thought about that.
the Cops and Cruisers event,
Rim ride.
first part of
Road
September, that too.
Right.
I wanna make sure we hit all those. So we got a little bit of time yet. I'm not gonna be designing this until next week. But if there's some bits of information you want to send me between now and then, feel free to do so. And I would like to, if I can, if the scheduling works, once I have a design, I'm just going to send it off to all of you. That's not like a rotating meeting. I'm just using you as my focus group. To let me know, do I have any errors on here? Do you see any typos? Do things make sense? I will be sending you, if all plans work out well, a draft of this before we, start passing it around. The dates will basically start with that first Master Gardener series at the library. And if I have room, I may go ahead and throw in some of those ongoing things that happen at the library, like those kid book events.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, because we're asking for, and this is only my suggestion. I think we're asking to open up a Pandora box there. They're gonna say, okay, why in July, why wasn't this event put in the event calendar at the library? And they're gonna, we have to say we have no room. And that's not gonna sound right.
That's the answer.
Well, that's why I think what we ought to focus on with the library, and I think the library should have their own calendar for all their events. But I think what we should focus on with the library, yeah, the Master Gardener, sure, we can do that, but their book sale, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, and the soiree. Those are the two, the three
I
big
think that
events.
those are the two major
Those are big
events,
ones.
because they're the major fundraiser.
Fundraisers, yeah. Whereas the internal activities that happen within the library, that's the library. And they can have their own calendar, right, Robin? You're the president of the
Well,
FOB.
Yeah, we should have our own calendar, and that calendar should be available
Absolutely.
at the market so
Yep.
that people can see.
That's the reason why we need that calendar, so you can have it available at the market. You bet.
And another suggestion is with our event calendar that we're putting together, as everyone's discussing here, is maybe put, library calendar, and put a link.
And,
Link it.
Yep.
and to that point, could it include maybe each iteration of this, just a QR code that says if you want to look further ahead or get more detail, go
Yeah.
here. And perhaps in doing that, more people will become accustomed to looking to that very fine calendar that's available.
Yeah, we did that on the summer one last year.
Right, we
If
did.
not both of
And
them.
maybe if we just did it on all of them, so that.
I like.
I think the idea may not have come up until the summer, which is maybe why I didn't.
But I do think because this Master Gardener series is so, it's important.
Yeah, it's
I think
different.
that's- It is, and I think it's good to add that to the,
I think it starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
I noticed the Larry's tennis at Rocky Hill. Anyone else do free tennis? Larry? Kids, he does all the kids free tennis on like, April, May kind of time. I think that might be good. He's like the Liberty, like Tennis Association or something. That was a great one. And then,
I do have that on the list.
is it on there? Where is it? I just looked again for it. I didn't see
I,
it.
it may be on a different list, but. I
Okay.
Well, it's not on this list.
I didn't see it on this list.
Not happening until the summer.
Sure, no, I was just, for some reason, I was tracking the other ones that we like doing, but my, when my kids brought up the chalk drawings in, what,
Chop walk,
chalk walk.
that was a couple years ago during COVID, and we haven't had it since, we had the 1 year.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would like, well, it was during, they would pretty much replace the, Barefoot in the Park. Because it was right in the middle of COVID and it gave an opportunity for kids to, give them out the chalk at the farmer's market. And they were able to go out, all design.
in front of their
We
houses
had-
and we could walk
We
around.
had a professional artist come in, remember, at Pavilion Park, did a gorgeous thing in chalk, and it's too bad, it's such an afterthought. We should have gone and lacquered it, we kept it for forever, but it didn't happen.
Professional photos of it.
Yeah, we do have some photos of it, it's pretty.
But there's little contests and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
that just came up from my kids. So what I was thinking about that was maybe we have some sort of, cause you love these, you love all the polls of what's your favorite, this or that. I was thinking of what's your favorite thing that has gone away in some way, and that might be how cause I've been trying to figure out what we've been missing, and some of us have been here longer than others and remember things that were fun and, bring back your favorite event.
That could be an interesting survey and a farmer's market.
I'm just trying to-
yeah, we could do that.
Trying to
Robin's
speak everyone's,
thoughts?
speaking everyone's language.
With Robin's dogs.
Yeah, the dots.
The dogs, yeah, there you go. We got a budget now, we can buy dogs.
Yeah, we got to buy supplies,
Yes.
and hand, David.
I do have one other thing on the calendar here.
Yeah,
If you look at the calendar, the whole calendar, everything, it's all City of Liberty Lake, okay? I think we ought to take one item off here, and that's the soapbox derby. That has nothing to do with Liberty Lake. That's Spokane Valley.
I'm looking for your input on that. You folks live here.
But isn't it in Liberty Lake? It's near the road.
It's in Liberty Lake, but it's ran by the Spokane Valley, Rotary,
Yeah.
and the attendance is non-existent. I've been there twice.
so maybe we just said it is.
I'm just
sponsored by
saying,
the Rotary.
everything on here is Liberty Lake, except for that. That one item is Spokane Valley. And if they want to promote it,
I was saying, we can let them promote it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let
To
them
me,
promote
a
it.
big question is, and you may have just answered this, but I think you did. Is this something people go to?
No. Not, I was there last 2 years I've been there, and, there's me and 2 other people.
Could this largely be perceived as a, for lack of a better term, a private event that happens in Liberty Lake? A
I
private
mean,
event
it's
that
possible if
that
it
the
stays
public
on
doesn't
the
go to.
calendar, maybe more people will start to go. And,
It was on the calendar last year.
Is this the Boy Scout event?
Hmm?
Is this a Boy Scout event?
No, it's, the Spokane Valley Rotary puts it on. Not our Rotary, but the Spokane.
Yeah,
Valley.
it's not like the Boy Scout soapbox derby. They bring in,
It's not private.
go-karts to assist, children with special needs, if I
Right.
know the information correct.
Now we're cutting this for.
What's that?
No, I don't,
I'm just saying, we're lacking room and.
we are lacking room and we have to start prioritizing.
Yeah, we got.
Seems like a link.
What's that?
Seems like a link.
Yep. I would,
Oh,
and there's not a date attached to it right now, so I would say bye-bye, if everyone agrees.
Okay, so I agree. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I'm cool with, I think the link,
Okay,
I feel like I'm in.
I think it should just, I think Valley should, if it's their deal, I think it's up to them.
It's confusing because it's here,
Pardon?
because the location is.
I think the only reason it's here is because Moulter has got a nice little,
oh,
and that's why.
okay,
You're up, Robin,
yeah,
your work plan.
the work plan, so 2024 work plan, so I just added. Oh, no, develop the binder for farmers market bill in summer, they did it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's done.
Okay, well,
Look at that.
I was
Boom.
gonna say, we need content.
but we, see,
Well, you got the binder, Bill.
we
You
need,
got the starting
we need
point.
the content, so that's still Bill's
I see a
summer.
whole lot of content right here.
I would agree.
So-
Yeah.
And then I added the calendar of events. And then I also added, soon to come, there's gonna be a comp plan update. And I've requested, once when this gets better, I guess, more into a plan, that Lisa could come and talk to us and do a presentation. Because we wanna be involved upfront. You know, and I always go back to the Trailhead project when we were involved, but it was like, oh, okay, 2 weeks, you know? If we get up and understand this upfront, we'll do a better community engagement process. And we'll also be able to help the planning department, I think.
So
So,
I make one other suggestion?
Yeah.
I think we ought to, if we're gonna do with Lisa's group, with the comp plan, I think we ought to do the same with Park.
I agree,
Have Jim come in and do the same thing. Because I'll update,
yeah. It was.
because there's some changes in the Parks Department and everything.
Mhm.
I think it would be best in our interest to,
Okay. So my understanding of it is that Lisa will take her plan to the first of the planning commission. And then get that outline approved, and then later then come to us.
so are we looking at sometime early summer for Lisa? Or
If it's March that she talks to the planning commission, probably April or May, possibly.
Sorry,
Did Did Lisa give you any indication?
No specifics beyond her plans to hopefully go to her commission in March.
So if your Zoom works, like every time I try either city councilor or library trustees, I don't know, Zoom on my system is iffy, but you may want to try and zoom in on the planning commission meeting and listen, and that might help us too.
Right.
So I went back and I listened to the Park and Arts, their last meeting. And that's where I learned some things. So I think that that's what gave me some of these ideas to, let's get involved up front and then see if we can collaborate with them so we understand it, then we can formulate. When I'm always thinking about Aaron's framework and how well he did that, instead, we need a pilot project to work that out. So, Town Square was mentioned, I think that was at the Park and Arts meeting, and then I'll work with somebody in the GIS and get a project permit map for the farmer's market, because everybody asks that question all the time.
So I thought that that would be one of the things that I would do. In between now and our next meeting, one thing that I could do is get at least a preliminary pages for all of the projects, the public and commercial ones that are in play now, as well as a calendar, as well as some of the documents that are represented here.
Okay, perfect.
And bring it then for review to see together what we think is relevant and what then might be missing. So if it's okay,
Oh, it's fine, I'll just take my name off, that's great.
that has been one of my sense of at least weaknesses that I've brought to the farmer's market
Mhm.
that I want to make strength.
Yeah, it's content and decided, and you and Summer and all of us can work it out on what's the best content when we're out there. So we have a flow of consistent information that we're providing the people.
Calendars, talking points, maps.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm taking my name off and Bill, I'm putting your name on there, that project permit. Okay.
There was another event that was coming up in the Parks and Art meeting, if you recall, Robin. The dedication of the basketball hoop town and the skate park.
That is
is gonna
true,
be
yes.
coming up,
Mhm.
so.
And that might be something that they would like to collaborate with us. And that's
Maybe,
something that,
maybe we'll talk to Nancy about that, because they haven't set a date yet.
okay, I'll talk with Nancy on that one. The dedication. Okay. Anything else? Moving on. E, ideas for umbrella promotion of July 3rd and 4th activities. David.
So be real quick, has nothing to do with actual physical and well as in hopefully not rain for the 1st of July. There was a meeting of key leaders from some of I think from all of the big 1st of July activities in Liberty Lake. About a month ago over here, we have people there from the city fireworks group, the lake fireworks group, the boat parade, the community parade / AKA golf cart parade.
Don't you say that.
I said-
You'll get you.
The start off of the movies in the park, which is gonna be, I believe that's Wednesday, the 3rd.
That's not gonna happen.
I keep hearing.
Tim
different.
Olson said that they aren't gonna give.
How long did he say that?
Last week.
It may have changed,
Oh, cool.
but maybe you have the new change. I don't know. I need to follow up on that. The concert, 4th of July. So we have, a pavilion park. So there are like 5, 6, events there. And the idea came up with, they want to have some kind of a name, like an umbrella name for all of these. They're not getting rid of the names for the individual events, but they think it'd be nice to have promotional name that we could put all these things together, possibly. I mean, clearly for advertising purposes, I can see a poster going around listing all these events. I can see Facebook promotions for all of these events unifying under. And I'm just throwing a name out there, it's a lousy one, but I'm just giving you an idea of something to start thinking about, but. Jump into July Blast, something like that. Well, but a lot better.
Independence at Liberty.
Yeah, so what we're looking for, so.
I like that.
So the idea came up of, let's bring this to the Community Engagement Commission, let's give this to the members of the Parks and Arts Commission, have them do some brainstorming. This group of leaders is not gonna be meeting again until, I believe is it end of March or end of April?
Yeah, sometime in March, April.
So we got plenty of time to start brainstorming, so. If any of you have an idea that you want to just email to me, if you want to talk about it as a group, that works too. Different ways you could look at this, you could have a formal vote saying, this idea came up in our group, we are endorsing this name or this other name, or just give a list of names, one group could say, by a 5-2 vote, our group liked this name, but it may be the 1 or 2 rejected names that really float well with the committee.
Right.
So, don't let anything diminish your thought process, your idea process, your brainstorming process. We've got several weeks to come up with thoughts, ideas. A great short name. And Cynthia, what was yours again?
Independence at Liberty.
Independence of Liberty Lake.
I would like to chime in with Cynthia. I think something in the name should say Liberty or Liberty Lake.
Liberty Lake, yes,
So, we need that identifier.
absolutely.
So that's good, Cynthia. Thank you.
I just want to pipe in real quick. I'm the one that started this thing, everybody, okay?
In
Because-
1776.
Yeah, 1770, no, last year, I kind of, as an observer looking, as someone from the outside looking in, I went to the boat parade for the first time. Went to the movies that night. I went to Karen and I participated in the parade at the community parade, which is no longer called the Golf Cart Parade. This community parade, yeah, Liberty Lake Community Parade. And then, of course, we were at the concert and the fireworks. And I got to talking to the main people and I said, hey, we have an opportunity here to really have a kickoff for an event, but everyone's doing their own thing separately. So we brought them all together and we sat down and we had a great meeting. And with the help of our commission, because I did say, we will help you out. And with David's help with, advertising and that type of thing, we really make this a big thing. And one of the things that came out of it was, okay, we got 2 fireworks shows going at the same time. Well, we were brainstorming it and we go, well, why don't we show the lake one on the big screen the same time that the one here in the city's going? Because we were thinking about starting one at the city 15 minutes earlier and then the one at the lake, separate them. No, I talked to Deputy Chief Morgan. He said it would be a nightmare because of traffic and all that. So we said, okay, we'll just blow them off at the same time. But so everyone could enjoy them, we got someone with a drone or something. These are just the things that we were thinking about. And then, of course, we want to bring all the community together and make these 2 days, as festive, as we can. And it'll be a fun event. So I like what you just said about Liberty, independence at Liberty League.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think that could be a winner, so. But we'll see. We'll take it to committee and we'll see what we come up with, but,
So let's just send. Was it okay, Dave, we just send you the ideas, David?
Yeah, individually, as things come up
Yeah.
to you and
Because one might just pop in my mind, and it would be, I go, okay.
And it's possible if you want, as a group, want to kind of share all of your ideas, I think we still have time at the next meeting.
I would say yes, because, I don't think anything has to be in before April.
I'm thinking it was end of April.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
So if you wanted to, you could even share everybody's ideas and maybe one person's idea will come up as a better idea that somebody else will chime in and like, oh, I like those two words, what if we switch to some third word? I've been in groups like that all the time where somebody has this one initial great idea that becomes better because somebody else added something to it. And that may happen here,
I remember, David, yeah, it's not the end of April, I think it's about the beginning
like
of
the
April.
20th or so.
No, I think it's before that, because we were talking about getting the first edition, of the event in the splash in their May edition, is what we were talking about.
Okay.
So,
Everybody-
yeah, all your call if you want to just, whether you want to do things individually or also do something as a group next month. It's-
I think individually.
Yeah, then, we can share them at the meeting next month.
Exactly.
It's just a way to get more heads involved with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I just, while we're all thinking about individually, if we can do something that has either events or some plural to it, so that we know it's a collection of events, because I think that's the exciting thing, right? We have all these things to do. So, I mean, again, no words specifically, but if we could have that idea, whether it's again, Liberty Lake.
Independence Days at Liberty Lake.
Yeah. So, something that, I think that's a something else though. I think
know.
that's, I thought it, but I was like, I think we have one of those already.
We do have something like that.
But whatever it is, if we can make it clear what it actually is.
I like that.
And as you think, keep in mind, I'm guessing most, if not all, you know this, but many of these events are done separately from each other. Some of these are city-sponsored events, some of them are not.
Yep.
They will still continue to be city-sponsored events or individual community events. Those siloed things will still happen, but we're also wanting the umbrella around the silos
Yep.
to give people an idea, a sense of, there's 2 days of lots of activities happening here,
Mhm.
rather than just one thing here, one thing there.
Okay.
Yep.
We got it.
Cool.
Will be on next month's agenda too. It'll be an agenda item. Okay, here's a big one. I'm asking, I know that I do try and adjourn by 7 or close to 7, but we need to take the time. And I want to spend the time talking about the workshop with the council, and this is scheduled for March 5th. So let me give you some background for everyone. We had on August 15th of 2023, we had a workshop with the city council. And we really didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what they were going to say. So during this workshop, I took some notes and made it into a list. Then I farther parceled it out and I thought, well, there's some common themes there. So I highlighted some common themes that I thought were pertinent. We won't be able to probably get to all of these because I think some things need to be better, I think, clarified from the city council. And we also have 2 new city council members. So with that said, my first thought is I'll introduce the group, I'll introduce the background material, and then I'll do a conclusion, and then we would want to have the city council talk about their clarifying
I
role.
think before we do that, Robin, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think what we ought to do before we open it up to the city council, I think we should tell them
Oh,
what we have done, our successes.
exactly, and I guess I didn't, I would introduce, and then the CEC then would talk about the successes and accomplishments. Sorry, that's good. And then I would conclude, and then we would
Make it open forum.
open forum with the city council, so we understand things may have changed. There's gonna be 2 new city council members, they may have a different direction, we don't know. So I asked Cynthia if she
Yes.
could record, so that would be more the format of there. Is that, I'll start with the introduction of the group. And with that introduction, then I'll give some background I want to give some background of the August 15th, 2023 And the purpose of the importance of the workshop. And then that we integrated the workshop, actually, if you recall, in our work plan. So on a side meeting, I actually talked with Councilmember Jed Spencer, and I think we're leaving on Orman. And we talked a little, or quite a bit actually on the workshop, and that's how we got to the March. And potentially then October. March was right before the big summer activities, farmers market and everything, and whereas October then was sort of the conclusion, and where would we go, for our next year, so. That just gives you, everybody here, some of the background and how. So then with that, that's what I will do, and then I will introduce, and then say, okay, and then that's when then I want back the CEC to specify some of the things that we've done and how interrelated they were to some of the things that the city council had suggested. So on some things we'll just need clarification on, but I think that we have done really toward progress of what they said in the last city council meeting. And that's where we want to go with that. So what would each one of you like to talk about? We know that Mark is going to talk about the calendar of events, and then you're going to bring up the member,
The ordinance,
the ordinance. Okay,
whatever you want, boss.
perfect. I like So I'm gonna ask, Cynthia, what would you like to address? On different things we've had, I would like to have Aaron, and I'll even write Aaron, I would like to have Aaron talk about his framework and that what he developed. Yes, and that should help really on how to better inform our citizens and inform the general public.
I'm trying to write fast. I hope it's gonna make sense, cause I'm like, Aaron, framework.
That's good enough, that's good enough.
Fortunately, we have the Zoom
That's
recording
perfect.
of this
Yeah,
meeting.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Summer,
Yeah,
blue binder.
how dare you?
What?
It's internally helpful.
Was I writing that down?
No, please.
We need someone to cover the farmer's market.
Yep. I'll do it.
Okay,
Okay, there
I
you
mean, I've
go.
been there about half the time last.
Sounds great.
That's fine.
Sounds great.
I'll talk about farmers market. It's hot and water is really important to have there for people.
okay.
And I'll be happy to help with farmers market as well.
There you go.
Rotary, we've got lots of stuff
There
going
you
on,
go.
so I can. bounce
Okay,
around.
so that's great.
Arlene.
Cynthia and Arlene. Because we've really played an important role and a more important role in the last year and a half on the farmer's market, because we've been there, and that's when you can then talk about the displays that we have and the different handouts that we provide
Surveys,
and surveys
the dots.
and, yeah, the dots. We can never
Can't
forget the
forget the
dots.
dots.
Never.
The dots, I've done dots, they're important.
Okay.
And they work. I mean,
Robin and her dots, they are gonna be a
They work.
legend out
It's
there.
easy to get.
People are gonna think of dots, are gonna think of Robin
Yeah,
and
I
vice
hope
versa.
so. Bill, what would you like to focus on?
I don't know. Really,
These are wild cards.
yeah,
Zen City. And how we incorporated
that's very
Zen
good.
City in our new service program.
I would be happy, I came in sort of in the middle of that
Mhm.
when I came onto the commission. With a little help, I could speak to it.
I think David or Mark could help you with that. I don't need to, Mark, are you okay with that? I'm sorry, I don't need to volunteer yet.
So we're here to support whatever you need of us, let us know.
We'll just throw Aaron at that.
You do a framework.
See,
And I
there,
could talk about framework,
give them two.
so that means one more person.
Yeah,
I'm happy to talk about, advisory capacity and, engagement with city council. I'm happy to actually have that conversation about how we're open to have the conversation with them and speak to their points.
Yeah.
You're really good at that, so.
Thanks.
Okay.
But that's sort of, you know, that's what they outlined, what I thought, and running it by everybody, because I wanted, I think we ought to have something. I remember the first one, it's not, that was our first one, so but now we have something substantial that we can provide them to say, this is how we tried to look at the issues that you said, or some of the comments that you made, and how to address these, some will need clarified. And then we go through that, and then I will conclude and say, and then have that open forum on the dais with the city council.
so with us each speaking, we should cover pretty much everything of our successes at that same time
Yes.
and accomplishments. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
I just wanted to have a good framework when we went in there. So,
We don't have on here, our subcommittee for the strategic plan. Do you want to talk about that at all? Or leave that out?
So in my mind, that falls under the framework
Oh.
of the discussion, because that was a result of that, discussion earlier, yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
I just want a little clarification too. Are we gonna specifically refer to this or these points or address these by, by name, this person brought up this, here's how we address that, or this is what we've covered that addresses that?
I
thought in the-
would I just do an overview,
And-
just an overview.
But I'm saying, within that, I'm wondering if it's worth it in some way to mention them by name at, as sort of citing that, we did this or this is a success. Annie, you mentioned this last time, and we think this speaks to this in that way, so pulling from their actual sort of
well, yeah,
paraphrased quotes in
I
that
want to
way.
give them this.
Okay, so you are actually
Yes,
gonna, okay.
and these comments, because the two new city council members may not know exactly what we're talking about.
I just wanna bring them by name into our narrative as much as possible. I
Yeah.
think that will help us.
I think if we do give this back to them and we don't touch on all the points, it kind of highlights where we might have come short.
Right.
So we might want to be a little bit strategic and maybe when the opportunity is there to mention, hey, look, where we have met some of these things that was brought up by council member so-and-so. You had mentioned that and this is how we have met that.
Yeah,
So
because
instead of-
I don't think that we could be expected to do
Oh,
and
no.
just is all of these, because we know that some of them that we could meet, but we still need to enhance, and some of them are aspirational still.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'd like to address the things that we haven't, that are things we definitely haven't been able to do on here or something, and address them in some way, either like, that's something we have on our list still, or could you give us more clarification or more
Right,
ideas on this?
it's
So that we can bring up their.
right, if we haven't been able to do it, there is a reason why. Can you help us?
Right.
Go-
Or are you still thinking about that, or does that matter in
Right,
lieu of this?
Well, speaking from Mark's side of the house, as council members like to be recognized for their individual thoughts, and they like to see their name attached to just exactly like you've done here. Because to them, it's like, oh, she heard me, oh, they heard me, and they are working, so this is excellent, so thank you.
Oh, okay.
I would, yeah.
Keep it all.
But I would,
That's why we said yes to your application, by the way.
Thanks. Sorry, Mark, I'm
so
gonna-
the only thing I do different, David, is,
no color.
I did, I
No,
did,
seriously, no color.
yeah, no color, because this was just for our internal use. I just thought that these were some underlying themes that
Yeah,
certain things that we had, but this is something that when you hand it up, you see, you give them the agenda, be sure and put this in the agenda, when, for the workshop.
So you're not gonna, you're wanting this in their pre-materials?
Yeah, in the packet. With no color. This was just
With no
for,
color, yeah.
yeah, this was just for our internal, I just had too much time on my hand that day and I thought. I thought, oh, this is pretty, all these colors.
And Jay,
Found a magic mark.
you were trying to show us which comments related to others. That was helpful to me.
Very much.
Yeah,
I get
I
the
was
point.
just trying to go thematically.
Yeah.
So how, does everybody feel comfortable with this outline?
I don't know with it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you both.
Did you have in there the Mark Saba proposal?
Yeah.
Mark's here.
Yeah.
Do that and ordinance, yeah.
Okay.
Stuff, it's about right, so. And just be sloppy with the handwriting, so you know that
I
I.
knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
And then on the end, you can put on the end at the conclusion, we provide CPC and then open discussion, but
Q and A.
yeah.
The whole workshop should be an open discussion.
The only thing I would ask is that, because we're not gonna have a meeting to say, well, this, before that, this is what, and outline our own subject matter, is just
We'll do our own homework and bring it with us.
doing your own homework,
That's
that's
it.
it.
We're big boys, big girls.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Mhm. Do the homework,
Absolutely. I got my homework done.
perfect.
How much?
I can add the best of them.
No, but that's what let's not, yeah, let's try and do that, let's try and keep, yeah, what I call winging it
Yeah,
to
there
a,
you go.
to a minimum.
It takes both types. It
Absolutely.
takes both types.
Absolutely.
It does,
It does.
but it does, and yeah, but there needs to be that balance of when you practice, you know what you're gonna say, because then we have that outline.
We want to look professional,
We want to look professional.
you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else?
I'll just be a different person then. I feel very professional.
Love it.
I can't wait to see.
I love it. But you know, I'm not sure that's a,
Suit and tie.
I was gonna tail.
That's you, man.
yeah, I was gonna say, then no one would take you seriously. That way,
Monitor and
sure.
comfort
Yeah,
bonnet.
there you go. Okay,
Great,
So
thank you.
anything else?
nope,
I like it.
I like it.
Okay, then, if you guys like that, take a picture.
Yeah.
And,
I know,
yes, you just have something prepared that's more distinguishable, and then we'll see where the new city council of 2024, if they have a new direction, or if they have some other ideas.
Sounds good.
last year when we did one of the survey at the farmer's market, not the one where. I can't.
Strategic plan,
Which one was it?
I was really aggressive in getting people to fill it out. There was a few of them, and I just remember,
The ranking? One
that was
through
one of
13?
them, yeah.
13 unfunded.
Do you remember
Yeah.
how many people we got out of that? Was it like 8, 10, 15?
Oh, no, yeah, I'd have to check on it.
Okay.
Can't remember. We're actually gonna be doing a podcast on that next month.
Well, that's the one we went out and Robin and I, we went out to certain clubs and got at them and they actually did, yeah. She did the library, I did the Rotary and the Kiwanis and here, fill it out, I'm here, give it back and I left.
Yeah, you're talking those half-page sheets, so
Right.
just rank the items by the check marks there.
Mhm.
So speaking of Rotary, I'll absolutely connect, I'm the president-elect coming up, we switched to July, so I'm here, I'll plug us in and I'll do whatever we need to
Great.
do.
Yeah, oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Did
Yeah, we got
you
two
meeting that day?
presidents. Two presidents on our committee.
Gotta be asking something.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
don't wanna be a president.
President's.
Hey, who wants to wear badges for this workshop?
Gotta find mine.
Yeah, are we gonna wear our badges?
We should.
We don't need no stinking
Thank
badges.
you.
I think that that's a good idea. We probably should, right?
Whatever you want, Robin. If it makes you happy, yeah, if it makes you happy, Robin, we'll all wear it.
I just feel like I've been hard on Robin's side. I need to give her one.
I think that, I don't think we need to, because I think that they give us our name tags out here
Okay.
when they do the workshop, so I had to rethink on what we did last time.
So no stinking badges?
So I
wore
don't
it
think
all.
we need the badges.
I got both mine.
I leave mine in my car.
Perfect, and Mark will wear both of
Because
them.
no one knows me.
Perfect. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we gotta go to the next meeting.
Can we, keep on one other thing,
Yeah.
the number I or F, I mean,
Yes.
Robin and I were talking a couple weeks ago, and all the other commissions meet at 4 o'clock. We were thinking, how about we change our meetings to 4 o'clock?
I won't be there.
You
I was
want,
gonna say, we have work, we probably have working job here.
I'm just bringing it up because I'm
Sounds
just
nice,
going,
but
I'm
I'll be at
going,
work.
you'll be at work, okay, never mind.
Okay.
What, is there enough, would 5 be better for people instead of 6 or 5:30?
I'm just saying, the only thing I'm thinking is that, it's, I'm thinking of Kate. Who has to do the minutes. Oh, it's you now?
This is my handwriting.
Oh, it's you now. You do the minutes now?
I've been doing the last couple ones.
Oh, never mind.
Don't care about David.
Make David stay there. David will-
Well, but if that's an option for folks to go, well, it could be 5:30, it could be 5, but I don't know on the work hours. So
Yeah,
I don't-
I forgot about that, so,
Is that,
my bad,
okay.
my bad. So let's just keep it at 6, just for summer.
Because I know Summer has children.
Because I want summer here, and if she's not gonna be here, let's keep it at 6.
I could just phone it in
No,
all.
no, a meeting without summer is like a meeting without.
Oh,
That's, okay.
They
We will 6 o'clock.
6
It's
o'clock.
just the winter.
And that's the next meeting is at March 20th, 2024 at 6 o'clock p.m. Yeah, okay. Requested items for agenda. I think we're gonna bring in all of the ideas that we have for the umbrella promotion.
We're gonna review the questionnaire with Mark.
You may have follow-up on the, change to the ordinance.
Well, yeah, there may be follow-up on the ordinance change.
So Mark, may I ask you a favor? Would you mind emailing me that questionnaire? I haven't seen it. Is it on the website?
Are you asking about the survey?
Yes.
We can email you copies.
I appreciate, just
Sure.
curious, nosy, curious.
Don't fill it out,
Under an alias.
No.
unless you get it in the mail.
Not so far.
I was really fun tonight.
None of us, huh? None of us.
None of us.
Uh-huh.
Robin's husband was the only one.
Well, that's a household, isn't it? That's good, though.
Yeah, I know, I'm just kidding. I think when will the calendar spring activities be completed, David?
We're hoping to have that wrapped up next week. Like I said, I want to have that out enough time to promote that first semester, the first semester garden event in March. The first one's actually tomorrow.
Okay,
And as soon as he gets that, I'll be back from the Mexican Riviera a week from Monday.
okay.
So I'm planning on coming in and picking them up and
Distributing them,
I'll take care of the city.
okay.
So quick question, David, is this the first master gardeners that you did, or have we been doing that?
Do you know? I'm not sure.
This is actually the first,
Okay.
of this series.
I'll kind of put in my 2 cents. in 3 cities I managed, especially the last one, Master Gardeners was huge.
Would be expected. this to
And, you know, and even over where I live at Chutina, behind the clubhouse, there's just probably 50 raised garden beds. And it's kind of a lot of, you kind of put your name in, get your name pulled out. So I bet there'll be residents over there that will really enjoy that Master Gardeners.
be. Oh, good.
It's at least communities I've been in, it's a big hit.
I think it's not pre-registration, just show up. It
Just show up.
Yeah.
could be
We
a
could have the full house.
surprising problem.
Great.
Could be. Okay.
Pleasantly surprised. problem.
You know, seed exchange?
No.
Bet you do.
Yeah.
I trade you a set of pumpkin seeds for some sunflower seeds.
They might. I'd like to add on for requested items for agenda for the March. Like to add on a discussion or a debrief of our workshop.
Oh, sure, definitely,
Because I either wanna know where we can,
definitely.
where it's sort of like, what did we do right? Where can we enhance this? And what, for the follow-up, and spend some time on, you can either call it a debrief or a discussion.
I think
When is the workshop?
March 5th.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, March.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. 6 o'clock.
March.
5th.
Tuesday, sorry, Tuesday.
6. Yeah. Okay. And it'd be better that it's, I know they always say, oh, we have Zoom to come in, but I've not been successful with Zoom, not too much lately.
No, let's make sure we're all here again.
Yeah, if possible,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Is 6 o'clock on March 5th okay with you, Sam?
It's great. Can't wait. Set my alarms.
My notification is the day ahead of time, the week ahead of time.
5 minutes, 15 minutes, get there.
Now.
Traffic
Is
is
there
light.
anything else for the good of the order?
But before you wrap it up, I just want to note a very important date in Liberty Lake City history tonight.
1 year.
1 year ago tonight.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Some of you were there to witness all this, and
Yes.
we will.
Oh, if you don't know.
The cat?
Wait for the podcast next week. This
Yeah.
full saga of
It's
the
better than you
cat
think.
who came to the city council meeting.
You know, can I add something before we adjourn the meeting? I did think that possibly at the CEC workshop, we should, maybe one person could add in about the city podcast. That would be Summer.
Summer, yeah.
And-
The city podcast.
Yeah, about the city podcast and also about the, yeah, Summer. And, you know, about the Liberty Lake Academy.
Oh, right.
So are we, I guess I have a question then, is the focus of the workshop on community engagement lowercase or community engagement uppercase? The things like the city academy, the podcast, that's city hall stuff.
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
No, that's true,
yeah, that's,
And actually,
let's keep it at
a couple of those other ones up too.
That's a good point.
Cross that out.
Yes.
but, okay.
But use them if
But it
necessary.
depends on what is the focus of your workshop.
I just say have them in their back pocket if they speak to what.
Yeah,
Well, you're
yeah,
on
they probably
podcast.
lost,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
because that's gonna have been their own.
Not that I like to miss an opportunity to
No, no,
promote my podcast,
No, you're right.
Good to you, but.
but you can introduce Summer that way to say that she's part of it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure part of it.
Tonight's question is.
And we actually have a cat-related trivia question next week.
That's what I thought.
Is coming.
Okay,
Expect no less.
if there's nothing else, for the good of the order, meeting's adjourned.
Good night.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Bill, did you stick these in the binder?
Oh, Bill.
Oh, Bill.
Oh, Bill.